good afternoon, and welcome to another Super Secret Project sketch. This is Eric Whalen from Super Secret Project X. I know, right? I've got my own crowd. All sexy and clappy over there on the couch. Woo! Take it off, Eric! No, you don't want that. Okay.
Put it back on.
Put it back on, Eric! Put it back on! Alright, today I actually have never seen the original show this character came from. I only know him from Scooby-Doo Laugh Olympics. Mildew Wolf. And he slays me. He is so freaking funny. What is his name? The guy he's based off of.
Paul Lynde.
Thank you. Paul Lynde?
Paul Lynde.
Lynde. Because he's just, it's like a hillbilly version of Paul Lynde. And it's just, he's just funny. He's very angry at people. Oh no, I just realized who he put him across from. Awesome. That's right, it's happening. It's happening here and today. The Mildew Wolf. The day has come. I guess I was looking forward to it. I suppose. Alright, there we go. Trying to get organized. Not organized. Trying to get organized. Okay. Oh, it has been a bit of a week. I am glad it wasn't like it was last week. Last week was a little brutal. This week has not been bad, so I have chosen the facial expression. I hope this seems to be the original model sheet. Not that you can see it clearly on my little phone, but that's typically what I work off of. Because much as there's some really great screenshots of characters, sometimes you just really want to go back and see what the original intent was. Especially on Hanna-Barbera, where their quality slipped from time to time.
Little history on Mildew Wolf. He was on the show Chattanooga Cats that we have never seen.
What is the name?
Chattanooga Cats. I showed you.
I have never seen that.
I showed you a little snippet of it, and you said the same thing. You're like, I've never seen that. And it was
Hanna-Barbera just unendingly made shows. I mean,
they made just stuff that was very, very short-lived because it wasn't very popular. I watched the opening sequence. It was basically one of the shows of musical, anthropomorphic musical thing. They were trying to get the whole Archie's thing like they did with Josie and the Pussycats and all those guys. So,
but very few things can beat Josie and the Pussycats because I mean. It was what it was. It worked, you know.
Yeah, to me it felt like they were trying to take on the musical aspect and also doing their own version of kind of like what's the live action? Is it H.R. Puffin stuff? Or no, Zoobilee Zoo. It kind of looked like that in a sense. But
you're listing off a bunch of stuff I do not know. I mean, I've heard of this stuff, but I don't think I've seen any of it.
Yeah, but it was all cats, and they were, it was very, very limited. Apparently he was they did like little shorts of different characters, and he was one of the shorts. And his character was like super popular, so they
ended up being better than the show.
Yeah, and he was actually voiced by Paul Lynde.
Was he really?
In the original,
the original. Okay,
Olympics, he was voiced,
that I didn't know.
Yeah, he was voiced by a guy named John Stevenson.
I was just going like,
yeah.
It's like, what a strange choice for a voice for this guy, and then it was Paul Lynde. Okay. It's funny. All I honestly from my childhood, the only thing I remember about that dude. Oh, what is the name of that stupid game show? Hollywood Squares. Was that the one where they had the big grid of stars and they all yelled at each other and it was a stupid show, but for the 80s it was pretty good?
Yeah.
That's the only thing I knew him from. So I didn't actually, because I never saw him in movies. I was like, okay, what else did that dude do? I mean...
Him and Jim J. Bullock are like the only ones I remember. They were just like staples on there, which both of them are probably kind of. Let me see. Okay, Paul Lynde. What else did he do? He, of course, a comedian, voice artist, game show panelist, and actor. Mainly a character actor. He did. Let's see. He did Broadway stuff.
Okay. So stuff that I just don't really know all that well.
A short-lived sitcom in 1956 called Stanley.
1956.
Yeah, that was opposite Buddy Hackett and Carol Burnett.
Was he like a little kid at the time?
Oh, he was born in 1926, and he died in 1982. And he was 50. He actually was pretty young. He died at 55 years old.
I was about to say.
Yeah. Well, let's see. But yeah, he was. That show was opposite Buddy Hackett and Carol Burnett. Wow. That was when
Again, you're listing shows that I've never seen.
Yeah, but those two, you know those guys.
Yeah,
those
well,
names.
I know them. I'm fairly certain Scooby-Doo and the gang, uncovered a ghost mummy or two with their assistance.
He was also, his main role was on Bewitched.
Was he?
He was, let's see, Lynn's best known sitcom role was on Bewitched. In 1965, Lynn made his debut appearance on Bewitched during the first season episode, Driving is the Only Way to Fly. His role as mortal Harold, Samantha Stevens' nervous driving instructor, was well received by viewers. Lynn also impressed series star Elizabeth Montgomery and her husband, director-producer William Asher, who created a recurring role for Lynn as Endora's practical joking brother, Uncle Arthur. I remember, because I remember seeing and hearing his voice. I remember that.
I just so barely remember Bewitched.
Yeah, I remember some episodes because I didn't watch it too much because it wasn't a cartoon.
Honestly, that's kind of usually where I was. I remember kind of liking Bewitched because it was sort of out there. But again, I had the exact same kind of reactions. I wanted cartoons.
Let's see. He starred in 4 failed pilots in the 60s. Howie in 1962, 1965, Two's Company, Sedgwick Hawk Styles, Prince of Danger.
Well, that's a great name.
Let's see, that one was a Victorian detective spoof.
Honestly, that's pretty good.
Apparently that was canceled at the last minute. Aww.
I mean, it's a great title.
Oh, well, ABC derped on that one. Apparently that was canceled at the last minute because ABC had reservations about him because of his increasingly erratic off-screen behavior and the persistent rumors of his homosexuality. So ABC canceled him because of that. And let's see, 1966, Lynn debuted on the fledgling game show Hollywood Squares and quickly became its iconic guest star.
Yeah, that's what I basically remember him from.
Man,
That's kind of a sort of a tragic dude there. It's like everything he did, it's like he just kind of kept almost getting there. That must have been frustrating for him. And then like the cartoon character, that almost flew again because they clearly tried to bring him back, then they starred him with a different voice actor. Poor dude.
The history on this one was between 69 and 73. Lynn did extensive voice work on the animated cartoons, particularly those of Hanna-Barbera Productions. His most notable roles included Templeton, the gluttonous rat in the animated feature Charlotte's Web, Mildew Wolf, Claude Pertwee on Where's Huddle.
Yes, Joe. It's time for Laugh Olympics. We're also talking about Lynde,
Paul Lynde.
Which is funny.
Savages.
Okay, you back of savages. As it turns out, Paul Lynde was not the voice actor for
Olympics, Mildew Wolf.
Oh yeah, Mildew Wolf in Laugh Olympics, but he was the voice actor for Mildew Wolf in the original show he came from.
Yes.
So I'm just sitting like, I'll just hire the dude back. I mean, I just thought that they gave him Paul Lynde's voice because they were being funny. I didn't know he actually was the original voice actor.
Yeah, I'm trying to see if there's anything saying of why he was, why he didn't come back for that. So apparently he had, like I said, he had a lot of problems. Apparently he had some severe alcoholism problems.
I heard he was one of those dudes. Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently was arrested frequently for public intoxication.
Awesome.
And
Poor
apparently
guy.
when he was a seriously mean drunk. Well,
You get a couple beers in me.
Like I could just imagine what that would be like coming at you. Oh.
well, that explains the one joke that John DiMaggio did on
That we
Talking
cannot
Tales.
repeat on this show.
Let's see.
You pack of savages.
Oh crap. In 1965, Lind was involved in an accident in which a friend, another young actor, accidentally fell to his death from a window of their hotel room. The two had been drinking for hours, and
jeez.
His friend, as they were horsing around, slipped and fell 8 stories.
Oh,
jeez.
wow. No wonder the dude was screwed. I mean, like he was screwed up before, but then that would really...
Apparently, another one, he was involved in an incident at his alma mater, Northwestern University, where he was the Grand Marshal for the homecoming. At a fast food restaurant after the homecoming parade, he made racist remarks and gestures to African-American professor James Pitts, who he then later blamed his behavior on his fatigue and inebriation. Jeez.
Yeah.
Apparently,
well,
during early 80s, he became sober and pretty much cleared up in his life in early 1980, but unfortunately died 2 years later.
well, at least, he had a couple years with a clear head, live life. I mean, it's not like he was penniless. He must have had something.
Right.
Hopefully he had a good couple last years. It's just one of those things where you just go like, wait, who voiced my favorite cartoon characters? Wait, what the heck happened to that person? Well, it's like, to me, the greatest, it probably, and it's funny because you go like, okay, who's the greatest voice actor of all time? And people go like, well, Mel Blanc and blah, blah, blah. Which I'm not going to argue with Mel Blanc, but I'm also going to like, whoever thinks of Fred Welker, the voice of Freddy? I mean...
Well, believe it or not, tons of people.
But that's what I'm saying is, there's the people that know, but then like everyone else just doesn't think about it. That Freddy has had the same voice actor this entire time.
Yeah.
He was the monkey in Raiders of the Lost Ark. He was the monkey in Raiders of the... Fred from from Where Are You, Scooby-Doo, was a voice actor in Indiana Jones, and that's just... There's something about that that's just kind of freaking amazing. And he's still going today. So it's like I don't ever want to take anything away from Mel Blanc because the dude was like the dude, But then like Frank Welker, you're like nobody... Okay, no, very few, I should say. Very few people think of him. And I just go like, I don't know, he might get to a point where... I'm not going to say he's going to outshine Mel Blanc, but he's got to be probably like one of the top 5.
Well, he is. I mean, when you listen to a lot of the podcasts, when a lot of the voice actors talk about the classic guys, people like oh wow, the brain farting is starting in the afternoon early again already.
Oh yeah, I've had those days.
Oh come on! I was just looking at his stuff earlier this morning. Pinky in the Brain.
Oh,
See?
big dude.
No, little guy actually.
Little guy. Oh,
Pinky in the Brain. Yep.
from Pinky in the Brain. That
Yeah.
is.
Exactly.
Oh,
give me a
come
second, 'cause
on.
my brain is.
I'm blanking on him too. His face is right.
Watch. As soon as I even begin to type in, I'm gonna be like, that's him.
True.
Let's see.
True. Well, the thing is, originally Scooby-Doo was not done by Fred Welker. Fred Welker and eventually started doing Scooby-Doo as well. So the reason why I say Fred, and believe me, I hear you on Scooby, but Fred, that was like his
Rob
Paulson. Thank you. Fred was like his initial character, and what really gets me is he then went, wait, the Scooby guy ain't doing it anymore, and immediately did a perfect Scooby-Doo. I'm like, holy crap! You know, I would lose it if I found out he was Velma too. Jinkies.
All right, okay. Well, we're bringing up Fred Walker here. All right. Oh, Frank Walker. I'm sorry. Let's see. Fred Jones, of course.
Am I getting Fred and Frank? Frank Welker.
Well, yeah.
I'm
Frank
getting
Welker.
Fred and Frank screwed up.
And he's been doing Scooby-Doo since 2002. It rhymes, yes! Scooby-Doo since 2002. Let's
Nice.
see. And he actually went back to doing Scooby-Doo for the one Scoob movie that came out earlier this year. Which I kind of want to see. I heard it was actually pretty decent.
I'm not against it. It always gets me when movie companies go in and grab a license and then think that they can just sort of make a movie. You know, just because it has the license, it will succeed. Mm-hmm. And usually it's, we have a license, now we're not going to give a crap and we're going to try to fix it.
Well,
So hopefully they did a good thing there.
Yeah, like I said,
I'm not
I heard-
against seeing it.
I heard from a lot of animation fans that it was actually pretty decent. Yeah, a lot of times when they're doing that stuff, it's for the sake of keeping the property on license.
June Foray and
Yes.
Cree Summer.
Yes.
Yeah. Those are three heavy hitters right there. That's what I mean about, you can't exactly say that Welker is outdoing them, but man, he is most certainly in the same weight division. I don't know how to put that.
Well, a lot of
You
those
know.
guys, a lot of those people, they voiced so many characters.
Yeah, his range was a little limited,
They
admittedly.
Yeah, that's what I was going to mention. That Frank Welker. Well, actually, he has a very good range because he was Megatron in Soundwave. He was Nibbler in Futurama. He did Speed Buggy. He was Garfield for a while, or on the
Well,
Garfield cartoon.
he was also all the characters that sort of sounded like Fred Jones,
Yeah.
like Dan Aykroyd's character in Ghostbusters when he did the '80s Ghostbusters. It was so clearly Welker, but
yeah, who was.
but with such a warm quality to that voice.
Which is funny because that same voice is what he'd use, except slowed down when he did Garfield. Because he was the voice of the Garfield cartoon.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And he was also Azrael in the Smurfs.
Yeah, that's what I like about Welker is he can do. He, like I said, like the monkey from Raiders of the Lost Ark, he can do animals pretty darn well.
See, the thing is, I don't have I have my favorite voice actors and stuff like that, but for me, I love them all because they brought so much
Yeah.
to me. And so I love Cree Summer, love Frank Welker,
Yeah,
love Noble,
Cree's
love Joe
amazing.
love and I'm going to start blanking on names as I can see their faces.
I'm
in
going
my-
to be Mel blanking on names
Yeah,
all day.
Exactly. Tress McNeil, she is one of my
She's good.
absolute favorites because she voiced one of the characters that literally brought me into cartoon love
Okay.
and stuff.
The one, and I can never remember his name because I am not great with Japanese names, but he is the voice actor for both Kenshiro
Oh yeah.
and Ataru Moroboshi.
Yes.
The fact that he does this enormous apocalyptic skull-crushing martial artist and a 14-year-old spineless pervert, and you cannot tell it's remotely the same person. And from what I was told in one convention, he was doing the whole I'm probably gonna get it wrong, Moshtaremo Shindaru, you know, that whole "you are already dead" thing that Kenshiro does, except that he would then start doing the Ataru Moroboshi laugh. See if I can even get close to it. Moshtaremo Shindaru. Kind of that, like, and I'm just going like, oh my god, I can so imagine that. That's so screwed up.
Hilarious.
It's so hilarious. So I give that dude some credit.
Like Joe says, even Casey Kasem and Frank Welker are pretty much in the same category in voice acting. They did pretty much the same types of characters throughout their careers. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, heck of a career though
Mm-hmm.
for Welker. It's all I'm saying is I think he gets. I think he gets a lot of props
He
just
gets-
on
He
that.
gets mileage props.
Well,
Definitely.
You know, I mean, he was also doing stuff in movies and such. So that's why I'm kind of going like he was. I don't want to sit there and go like, well, he's just not the same. I'm going like, well, it's his career was a little different. But I'm not about to throw his characters away. I mean, even by comparison to Bugs Bunny, and I love me some Bugs Bunny.
Yeah.
You know, so it's just like I just kind of look at it and go like, his career was different, you know,
Yeah.
and
What's like speaking of like weird creature animals, Bradley Baker, that dude has some of the craziest.
Appa?
Yeah, Appa
oh
and
yeah, oh
Momo.
he is a
The-
freak.
The stuff that he does
Yep.
to manipulate his sinuses to make creature noises, and
It doesn't even sound like a human making those sounds,
And he's done like tons of movie animal sounds and tons of movie sounds.
and you
in
can
general.
never tell.
Yeah, that dude, he's crazy. But yeah, speaking of like people who can like manipulate their voices, one of my favorites in that aspect is Kimberly Brooks, voice of Jasper from Steven Universe.
Oh,
and also
she's
voice
good.
Of Princess Allura in the new Voltron.
Talk about like I heard both voices, and it never occurred to me it was the same person. I was just you told me that, and I was like, no, I don't believe you.
But yeah, and she's done like a ton of other stuff too. But like those are the two ones where I really knew her from. I'm just like, holy crap.
Okay,
that's-
now one of my all-time favorites, and no, his career is not the same breadth and width, but I loved Scatman Crothers.
Yes.
When I was a little kid, I always loved his voice, and it was Hung Kong Phooey.
Yep.
And when they did the Harlem Globetrotters on the Scooby Doo stuff,
Yep.
and he must have been in other stuff. But those are
was-
always the two that pop up in my
He
head
was,
first.
Jazz and Transformers.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's right. And I always loved. 'Cause he just had one of those like very just perfect voices.
Hey, Brandon. Nephew Brandon's on. What's up, man?
Hey man,
Hey, well,
how's it
how-
going?
see?
We're doing Mildew Wolf today from Scooby Doo's Laugh Olympics.
You savages.
You pack of savages.
Now, you may not have seen this show, and I'm not going to tell you it's the greatest show, but it's one of two things. It's either a really good show just to completely chill out on and kind of go,
This is
right
stupid.
on. This is, well, it's stupid in a good way.
Yeah, like fun stupid, yeah.
Or and I do not partake of the herb myself, but I can only imagine what that show is like when you're stoned, because it is so screwed up. I mean, and Mildew Wolf is he oh my god, he is so funny. He's actually one of the primary reasons why I watch the show.
Just thinking about tradition, I just hearing in my head the word "puck up doll face" in Paul Lynn's voice.
Puff up, doll face.
Yeah, so oh my god, Paul Lynde.
If you and I'm not gonna say the entire thing, but if you ever get a chance, look up Talking Tunes with Rob Paulson, and look
Yep.
up the older episodes, because the newer ones I'm still getting through those, because they switched formats and they went to a kind of like a kind of they got bought out by Nerdist, so they went to a new kind of a sit and watch and everyone talk as opposed to an actual venue, which I love the venue format of it. When they had John DiMaggio, who else? I can't remember the.
It was a great group of people.
Yeah.
I just remember Rob Paulson
Yeah.
and DiMaggio and
they had like two others that were on there, because
they were
usually
good. I
do-
don't remember who they were. Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say John DiMaggio was on there with Billy West, because they may have been doing they may have been doing a Futurama one, because they have them on there kind of like several times. But look up Talking Tunes with John DiMaggio, and they're at a comedy venue, so they had like an actual crowd, and just see if you can find John DiMaggio tells the Paul Lynde airplane story.
I wish I could tell it on this show. I cannot tell that story on this show. It is. I almost crapped myself when oh, it's so funny.
Yeah,
And so wrong.
I was actually listening to that at work, and I was thankful nobody was in the store when it was playing over the iPod, and that came on, and I laughed so hard because I actually had it because I was closing, and so I was listening to it like as I was going to pick you up, coming to pick you up from work. And when I picked you up, I was like, dude, you got to listen to this. And we laughed the entire time home off of that one joke. Oh my gosh, it was so funny.
Lady, if you don't sit that kid down.
I wish I could be an out of control crazy person like him. I can only imagine how much fun that would be if you didn't get continually in trouble.
Joe says the Paul Lynde story is definitely not PG.
No, it is. You know what we're talking about. Yes, it's so good. It is such a funny story.
Brenda says, now I want to hear it.
Dude, yeah, go check it out. It is funny and dirty and wrong. Really everything that I pretty much like. I just don't do that on this show because it's not a matter of like family friendly. It's a matter I just want this just to be kind of a fun, lighthearted show where we draw cartoons, and I don't want to be going down that road at this moment. But it is so funny.
Yeah, and the thing is, like, there's different people who tell the story and stuff, but hearing John DiMaggio actually do the imitation of it,
He's good.
oh man, that just brought an extra layer to it that I just laughed. I was just like, dude, because it was like a good probably a 3 minute, 2.5 3 minute story the way he did it.
Something like that. It doesn't take too long to tell the story. But what I love is all the other voice actors on there just laughing along with him and going like, he didn't, like.
You just hear the crowd's just cracking up, laughing and just screaming, and the voice actors are leaning all each other. You can just hear them just gasping for it, they're laughing so hard.
So good. But yeah, the thing that I like, and obviously then it was because Paul Lynde was the original voice actor. There was a certain amount of Paul Lynde, clearly, in Mildew Wolf, and I actually kind of want the character to come back because, it's not that he was the greatest ever, but people will go in and they'll do, the Snagglepuss. We'll do Snagglepuss, and we'll bring Snagglepuss back, or Huckleberry Hound, and Huckleberry Hound is kind of funny every once in a while. Snagglepuss is a little funnier. They have never made me laugh like Mildew Wolf because just the line from Laugh Olympics. Oh, you pack of savages! It just every single time he says something like that, I'm just in my lazy boy crying.
With one time he said the pack of savages, and both of us just lost it at that.
Oh, it's because the voice is so funny saying that, and you don't hear lines like that anymore because somebody might be offended or something.
Brandon says, "After Dark show."
I've actually been considering the problem I'm having is, if you notice, there's been a couple of weeks where I just didn't. It's not that I was being lazy; it's that I had weeks and I was worn out, and my original plan for streaming was this was going to be one of 2 or 3 shows during the week. And I actually want to do a show where I do more of my personal illustration. I want to do a show where I work on more of my nude drawing and stuff. I can't get away with that one on YouTube. Yeah. That's what kind of stopped me on that one. Yeah. And it's also what's kind of stopping me on my illustration, too, because when you're building up an illustration, sometimes you might be illustrating some stuff that YouTube might not like until you get it all filled in. And if you can't tell, I am not a big censorship fan. I'm not a, hey, you should show your kids some porn mags. I'm not like that. I'm just like, nope, keep kids away from that stuff, yada yada. But on the same note, I just don't like, I don't like people saying, hey Eric, there was a nipple in that picture. Your show is being censored. I'm like, okay, it
Yeah.
drives me nuts.
Yeah, I'm looking at some of the Paul Lynde jokes. Apparently, that was like the Hollywood Squares ones. I'm laughing.
Oh, I remember him just being a total crazy person on that show.
A question: is it against the law in Texas to call a Marine a sissy? And his response: I guess I'll have to take the law into my own hands.
Guess I'll have to take the law into my own hands.
Paul, no! Come back to us, Paul. Come back to us.
When a man falls out of your boat and into the water, you should yell "man overboard." What do you yell if a woman falls overboard? Full speed ahead.
That is brutal. Okay, it may not sound too brutal to younger ears, but back then, that is
Well,
brutal.
this one is brutal in the ooh way. The great writer George Bernard Shaw once wrote, "It's such a wonderful thing. What a crime to waste on children. What is it?" And his answer was, "A whipping."
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh, man. Oh, I'm glad my headache is fading.
Yay.
It just got one of those weeks, guys.
Question: you're the most humble fruit. What are you? His answer: humble.
Wait, say that again?
The question for Hollywood Squares was, "You're the most popular fruit. What are you?" His response was humble. Calling him a fruit.
That's clever. That
Yeah.
That's clever. I like that.
Oh man, but yeah. I'm trying to think. What was This I guess this was our original topic, wasn't it? We actually didn't go off topic one once.
Well, our topics are typically kind of vague as long as they're roughly in the arena of what we're drawing.
And honestly, if that was the one thing that was like, if I didn't get into cartoons, I would have wanted to be a voice actor. 'Cause that's if I can't make them, dang it, I want to make them. I want to make them alive as much as possible.
That's kind of the thing, isn't it? Where you go in and you're like, man, I want to be involved in cartoons and movies and video games and comic books and blah blah blah, which in many ways is all very similar.
Mm-hmm.
However, it is damn near impossible to do all of them. Where you just go like, you have to get real specialized just to stand a chance to get in, and even then.
Well, then it's actually becoming more easier because I mean, look at
Really, to be both a voice actor, an animator, a comic book artist, work on video games.
there's been a couple of people who've done it. I mean, look
Wow.
at the creators of Rick and Morty, Seth Green with Robot Chicken.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Those are very, very rare people.
That's what I'm saying, but it does happen.
It does happen. I'm just saying that just to even become one, period, is difficult, let alone be in one of those positions.
Yeah, well, let me say
That's all
it's-
I'm saying.
It's thankfully it's becoming a bit easier from what I've been seeing and stuff, but it's also the fact of people now understanding that folks can actually do this stuff as opposed to just having a centralized, no, we have to do it this way and it's traditional to do it this way. It's like, no, just give people a chance and let
Forget
them
tradition,
let
just
them
do what
prove
works.
themselves. And that's the thing, is like a lot of people have now proved themselves that yeah, this stuff can be done, and you don't have to have the old guard doing it. As a matter of fact, a lot of the old guards are just like, yeah, we want fresh blood in here because we know that we're not going to be able to do this stuff forever as much as we'd like to. So, yeah. Wish I could do it all.
Yeah, I hear you, Brendan. I hear you.
We all do, bro.
Actually, I'm just at the point now where I just want to do one of them. You know, this is so stupid. I realize how bad everything is out there right now. I get it. I'm also at the point where I look at how old I am and how long I've been trying to do stuff, and I'm at the point where I'm like, I want to do it now.
Yeah.
You know, it's nothing against like anything other than it's like I've got like 7 years until I'm 50. I mean, seriously. You know, and I'm like, can I make a cartoon now, please? or I got to be doing something. I'm doing something wrong here. You know.
Well, and you also have to keep in mind. I mean, I've been reading up on a lot of success stories and a lot of stuff, and a good chunk of professionals will come out. Well, they've been saying they're like a lot of the stuff when it comes to age.
Thank you, Joe.
So a lot of stuff when it comes to age is like they're saying, don't focus on how much time you have left.
I know, but you also, after you've hit several decades of trying, the patience starts running out. That's what I'm saying.
And what they were also saying, they're like, yeah, they know it's hard to do what you want to do, but from what I've been reading, they're just like, just keep trying. They're like, seriously, just keep trying. Like,
and that's what I'm going to keep doing. It's,
that's all
I'm just saying.
I know. Trust me, I'm right here with you. I see it. I feel it. Oh man, we haven't had takeout in such a long time. It's giving me heartburn now. I'm getting the pains. We indulged. That's all we needed to do for once.
Yeah.
I'm good for another
Yep.
8 months until something is fixed.
Yep.
Brenda
I'm
says,
good.
I would love to see more of your original art.
Yeah.
We're working
So
on
would
it.
I.
We're working on it. We're working on getting portfolio stuff up right now. So.
Yeah, we're the problem is with a full-time job and everything else, it's just hard to focus on getting anything just simply done. You know, like you just look at things and go like, "Oh, I'll just get this done," and then 3 years go by. Oh, finally got it done, and you're just like, "Dang it! That's just taking too long." I mean, the full-time jobs just they suck most of your time away from you, and I'm glad I have it. I mean, I'm not remotely saying anything bad about my work. I'm just saying it's just so much of your time and energy goes into that. It's like the sketches that I didn't do. The vast majority of them was I was just knocked out from work and just so exhausted and burnt, just freaking burnt.
Alright, pardon me 1 second. I'm going to take one of my tummy pills.
Yeah, I hear you.
Take care of yourself when you're younger.
Oh yeah, no, Jesus. I, honest to God, I want to go back in time and whoop my own butt, dude. Freaking go out for a walk, lose some weight, dude.
Yeah,
Stop eating a tub of double Dutch chocolate cake frosting chased by a gallon of chocolate milk and Cool Ranch Doritos. You dummy.
I tell myself, take that energy that I have, that I was always running around, because since I didn't have a car in college and stuff, I pretty much walked everywhere. So I was actually getting good exercise. But I was like, I would tell my younger self, take that energy and please keep it up. Do not take the fact that you are young and spry and energetic.
It's a matter of fact.
Yeah, it's like don't take take advantage of that fact and keep up, make a good habit of doing that, because you're not going to have the chance to correct that if you don't.
Once it's gone, it's not gone forever, but it's super difficult to get back. I wish I would have. Wish I would have figured that out.
Like I am a creature of habit, but unfortunately, it seems to be bad habits at most points.
Eric, what the heck is wrong with you, Waylon? Honest to God, my legal name.
What's the
at least it
dealio?
should- At least it should be. What the dealio?
Eric, what the dealio, Waylon? Yeah, Brandon says, I get it, trust. He's like, you lived. Like, I cut down a lot of things too, to be honest. Yeah, which is good, man. Good for you. I mean,
Yeah.
like, everything in moderation is just that's the key.
Well, I found out something really important, and it's difficult to understand at the time because you're lost in it. That slice of chocolate cake is great, but the next 2 or 3 after it just aren't as good. So you might as well not have a cake, but a slice of cake, with about 3 or 4 months in between. So the next time you have the second slice of cake, the one that ruins your gut and turns you, gives you all the man boobs and stuff. Well, at least if you're getting it, at least then the cake is really good. Like you're like, I got some moob. But that cake was amazing. Instead of you're just shoveling more cake into your mouth and it's just not even that great anymore. So I found out that don't even put candy in the house. Don't even put cookies or brownies in the house. Then when you go do it, dude, I'm going to go down to that Italian restaurant and get their tiramisu with a cappuccino on the side. And then you make like an event out of the dessert, and you sit there and you haven't had real cream and sugar and stuff for months, and you take one bite and you start crying. It is so good.
Which is one reason why when we were at the store earlier, and you were just like saying like thank you for not going down the bakery for the muffin aisle.
Yep, thank you.
There was also another reason why I was kind of leading out, because I got I got the weekly ads that coming through email and stuff, and one of the ads was they had a giant family serving of tiramisu that was on sale. And I'm just I'm not even going to mention that to
thank
them.
you. Yeah. Well, it's that mentality where people go, it's impossible to be strong 100% of the time, but you need to be strong 100%. Okay, if you are strong 90% of the time, let's put this in very simple terms. You have a 10-hour day. You are strong like Hercules for 9 of those 10 hours. It takes 5 minutes to suck down 9 donuts. Okay, so you have an hour during the day where you're going to be stupid. All right, now, your day is 24 hours long. That is over 2 hours of the day where you think to yourself, Cool Ranch Doritos, that's the same as Cheerios. Oh, milk, that's a dumb idea. Beef gravy and Mountain Dew. And you're like, this is a great idea.
Nice helping sprinkling of cheese on top.
A nice sprinkling of cheese on top.
And chocolate chips.
So it's just that and that's why I'm like, that's why, and it's impossible. You need to be strong 100% of the time if you're not going to be eating this stuff. Or, lucky enough that when you run across it, it's when you're strong. That's why I'm like, don't bring donuts into the house. Donuts is like the 8th food group.
That's your kryptonite.
Well, I have a grand many kryptonites, but donuts, and with coffee, oh, and I love coffee, and there's just a sinful synergy there, and I just shouldn't do it. And when I'm at work, which is one of the reasons why I like working from home, thank you everyone from work that brings in delicious gourmet donuts. But gourmet donuts, they're stronger than Dunkin' Donuts. They come in a pizza box made for donuts, and like each of them is just like a little sinful, naughty, deep fried angel you want to stick in your mouth. They're just
Which, once again, I found the place where those came from, and I have not bothered to say, hey,
thank you.
let's go try them out, or I'm going to go and grab a couple of those because
Well, for a treat, it's fine. But when
Yeah.
somebody brings in 24 of them and sits them within 12 feet of
Yeah.
my cube, and I'm there for 9 hours, okay.
and you get hungry.
And you go like, man, I sure could use a snack. And you look over at your little pouch full of almonds and go, that's pretty good. But there's a pizza box full of gourmet donuts within 12 feet of me. Yeah, both the sound, by the way, of Jaws and a coronary condition. And I'm naturally a fairly big guy, and I'm not saying because there's some big dudes out there. I know there's some big dudes out there. But I'm kind of a big guy, and I can just put on weight so fast, and I'm not doing like the old look at my thighs thing. I'm just doing the whole like, I'm just sick and tired of the gut. I'm just sick of it. I know I'm not going to be in the shape that I used to be in, but I'm sick of being the Pillsbury Doughboy, So yeah, it's like that's one of my things where I just go like it's the Odysseus thing with the sirens. It's like, yeah, tie me to the mast so that I can't jump off the board and go try to have sex with the horrible singing monster offshore. So it's like, oh no, don't bring donuts into the house, so I don't go and try to have sex with the coronary monster right off the shore, so to say. Not that.
About to say we're getting.
No.
we're
That's
getting
not what I
into
do with the
some
actual
territory
donuts.
here where I'm getting a little uncomfortable.
Well, I took the Odysseus thing a little too far. But that's what myths are good for. Because some real politically incorrect stuff happened during myths. That's why we all love them.
Zeus and golden showers. Come on, man.
I'm trying not to read into that. I'm trying to, but it's tough.
Oh, even when I was a kid learning about that stuff, I was laughing my butt off.
Really? And Zeus splashed himself all over her. I'm like, dude, stop. This is like 5th grade mythology. What are you doing? You naughty freak. Telling kids about Zeus splashing women. You sicko.
That was good.
It's not bad. I'm glad I got it done today. I don't have as much energy today as I normally do, but at least I had enough to do this. So.
You did good.
Water.
Get your drink in.
All right. Recheck my messages here.
Because I'm only able to see the ones on Facebook.
Yeah, I hear you, Brandon, about using original art. It's a good way to advertise. I'm working on stuff right now, and I've got some really good leads on stuff. I'm just trying to get stuff about right, and I've got some books that I'm doing, so I'm trying to do the characters and the stuff from them. So the stuff that I put together, hopefully, is kind of a nice cohesive package. I'm getting there. The problem is when I hate using this as an excuse. The full-time job, you only have so much time, and so you just don't get as much done as you want to. But you're right. It's actually a really good idea.
Find the audio.
Can't find it. Well, thanks for checking, Joe.
Yeah, like I said, it's on. I'm not sure if the podcasts are still up on. Cause I know I downloaded it from iTunes
Yeah.
years ago, so I'm not sure if if they're still even up there at this point. Cause I know
Maybe it's not.
Cause I know when they did their hiatus, because they stopped for a very long time, and then when they went to on the Nerdist platform, they actually made it a paywall, and then for 2 more years. We didn't have new episodes, but they were releasing them through the Nerdist, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here's all these episodes. So you had like over 100 and something episodes coming at you, which I still haven't even I haven't even got to yet.
Yeah.
And that's been like, again, 2.5 years ago.
Yeah, I don't discourage people using paywalls, but when you're on a limited budget, it just immediately excludes you from.
Well, not only that, but when you've had something that was basically free. To you for 3 or so years, or however many years, and then suddenly they just kind of take it away from you. And it's like, I know it's a privilege thing, and it's just like, well, it is what it like. Yeah. That's what it was. But it's just kind of like, oh.
Well, I'm kind of I try to hold two things in my mind at the same time. For people that back up stuff with paywalls, sometimes that's the only way to really make money, and the people are trying to make money.
Yeah.
I'm not taking that away. I've also been in circumstances where no matter what I did, I could not afford to pay for stuff. And I'm just of the opinion that the people that are just falling short, or are down and out, or may never even be in a position because of circumstances where they can enjoy stuff, I want them to have stuff too.
Yeah.
So I have literally two exactly opposite things in my head, where I'm kind of going like, I kind of want there to be like a charged and a free version of stuff, and I don't know how to do that. So maybe I'm just wrong. I don't know. I don't know which is the right way to go, to be honest. Anywho, here comes the moment I've been looking forward to.
I have the audio.
All right.
Oh, snap.
Fujiko, meet Mildew Wolf in one of the grossest kisses.
Wait, Joe says, pucker up doll face when you close it.
Oh, you freaking savages!
Pucker up,
Oh!
pucker up doll face.
Savage! Savage!
Awesome. I needed that. I needed that. I needed the vitamin. Is that suck? Is that what that is?
Vitamin suck.
I needed vitamin suck.
That sounds way worse.
In vitamin savages.
That sounds way worse than what
I know.
it is. Vitamin suck. Speaking of.
Speaking of. You are welcome.
It's all for you, man. It's all for you.
You savage!
We need to start like when we get like your fan group. We call them the Savages.
The savages!
Not the Savages. The Savages.
My pack of savages!
Thank you, you pack of savages.
Thank you, you pack of savages.
Woo! All right. Well, thank you everyone for showing up. Have yourself a good week, and I will do my darndest to be back next Saturday. Work has not been terrible lately, but it's just there's a lot of stuff going on right now. So
Mentally draining.
the upside is that some of my personal projects are getting worked on, and they're getting there. It's because I'm kind of like waking up at 5 a.m, doing some of my work and going to work on top of it. So it's a little draining. Anywho, Everyone have a good week.
Stay safe.
Yeah, stay safe. We will catch you later, and remember, just just have a good laugh.
Drink water. Laugh good.